Live better and longer with the Fitzness Show, hosted by fitness expert, author, and TV personality Fitz Koehler. She'll tell you why diets are dumb, supplements are snake oil, and the truth about how you can earn a lean, hard, pain-free, and athletic body. Now for our favorite bossy blonde, Fitz Koehler.
Well, hi team. I'm Fitz Koehler, your annoyingly positive fitness pro from fitzness.com. And welcome to the Fitzness Show. Today, I'm going to be less than positive. That's right. I'm going to be annoyingly complainy because we're going to talk about our Festivus grievances. Every once in a while, you have to grieve the nonsense that goes on in our life. And we're going to do it today. Before we get there, if you haven't done so already, click subscribe wherever you're listening to the Fitzness Show. That way, when I get up and make some happy noise and start bullying you around, making you do better and be better, you get notification to listen. Also, if you haven't done so yet, come to fitzness.com, order your copy of You Supercharge, the exact formula for fitness, weight loss, and longevity. What are you waiting for, folks? So much information is in there that's going to change your life. And you want to know how to make your nether region stronger and healthier and, more capable? You got to buy the book. That's it. Head to toe, inside and out. I'm going to make you way better than you are. In fact, that's a lie. You're going to make yourself way better than you are. That's the whole premise of being supercharged is you take action and you get to live this extraordinary life that you wouldn't have if you hadn't put in those efforts and taken the steps necessary. Okay, so we're doing Festivus. So Festivus, if you're a Seinfeld fan, you know exactly what that's all about. And isn't it so interesting that Seinfeld is still such a prominent part of our lives in 25? I mean, golly, I think the show ended over 20 years ago, which is pretty spectacular that it's still so influential. But if you're unfamiliar with Festivus, George Costanza's dad creates it. I don't know if he created it, but he implements it into their life. He's like, there's Christmas and then there's Hanukkah and there's Festivus for the rest of us. And he really has a ton to get off his chest. He's not a very happy guy. He likes to complain. And Festivus is the opportunity for you to air out your grievances. I think the specific grievances on the show is to tell your family how they've disappointed you. And then I think you take some physical action after that. It's been a while since I watched that scene, but you know what? I get it. Festivus is for grievances. And so we like to keep it positive. Yay, everybody. Yay, exercise. And boy, do I truly mean that. But come on. Sometimes people are freaking annoying. And we're gonna discuss. I put out in a few locations on Reddit, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. I said, and I think not Instagram, but I said, hey, if you have any fitness or running Festivus grievances, let me hear them. And you did. Before we get to your grievances, we're going to start with mine. And I just have a few because I'm pretty easy peasy and I love everybody who exercises. I mean, the second I walk into a fitness center, I have mad respect for everybody. But there's a few super annoying behaviors. I'm going to start with the treadmill cuddlers. Drive me freaking mad. The gym where I work out, Gainesville Health and Fitness Center, there's several rows that have, 15 treadmills at length, 15 treadmills side by side by side. Sometimes I go into the gym on a very slow time of day and I'll go to the far side where, I just want to be alone. I don't know why. Sometimes I just need some space. I go over there and then there's 14 treadmills lined up next to me. They're totally empty. And I kid you not, someone will come right next to me. They will run or walk right next to me. And I think, what are you doing? Why are we cuddling? That's nonsense. Get over there. And of course, they don't say that, but I think it real hard. So today's the day I'm saying it out loud. If you have the option to exercise on a cardio machine, maybe 1 or 2 or 10 steps away from the next guy, do it. Do it. Unless you know that person, unless they definitely want you near them, don't crowd them. It boggles my mind. I'm talking treadmill here, but there's the same thing with the stepper and the elliptical and the bikes. It's so weird. The other thing that I think is interesting, and this is purely by chance, but I will go into the locker room and they have those you create a code and it locks for the day. I don't have to bring a bolt or anything. But anyways, I'll put my stuff in locker 100 and then I'll go away. And maybe there's There's 5 people in the entire gym. When I come back to get my stuff, I assure you there's someone at locker 98 and 102 getting their stuff. I don't know how we all choose the same locker. There's only 3 women in the gym, and we have all chosen lockers next to each other, and then you have to wait, but that's just irony. That's happenstance. Nobody did anything wrong, but I think it's kinda weird, right? It's just one of those roll your eye. What in the world? How did this possibly happen? And it happens all the time. Speaking of the locker room, I do not enjoy it when I see women blow drying their crotch with the hand dryers. You know, the ones where you press the button and it blows air down? I Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Maybe do that at home. No, who needs to blow dry their pubes? It's so weird to me, as if they're getting a styling. Like maybe they put gel on their pubes and they're using the hand dryer and they're gonna style it, maybe part it down the middle or curl it or crimp it. I don't know what is going on there, but it's a strange behavior that I wish I didn't have to witness. And today reminded me of the policy of don't show up to the gym stinky. Now, no, I don't mind. I'm not talking to you if you went for a 20-mile run and then you showed up at the gym to stretch or whatever. Okay, I get it. But if you just woke up and you're unshowered and you stink and then you come to the gym, ew. So Ginger and I went and took a yoga class today. You know, folks, I have loathed yoga for a very long time, trying very hard to do more of it, specifically because Ginger enjoys it and I like to do things with her. But there was a woman in front of us and she reeked, and it was the BO, like BO, as if she hadn't showered in multiple days and she had sat outside in the sun or whatever. It was, oh, it was nasty. And the yoga room was packed. It was hot yoga, which is great. But oh, she was wretched. And so in my mind, I kept thinking, hopefully she's been here for 2 hours, just working really hard. And that's why she stinks to high hell. The worst stench a woman has ever stunk ever is the woman that was in front of us. But I'm hoping she had just been exercising vigorously. But there's also a chance that maybe she just didn't shower in the morning. And so, yeah, do that. Just because you're going to the gym doesn't mean your odor, your appearance doesn't matter at all. I mean, I'm full throttle on whatever gets you to exercise, but she could have showered in advance. If she was mid-workout and she stunk, then bless her heart. Kudos to her for working so hard she stunk. But Ginger and I were looking at each other going, whoo, this is rough. And then the groaners. We had a lot of groaners in the yoga class today. The and ooh and oh, it sounded like something else was going on in the classroom. And again, bless their heart, they're getting a good workout. But you know, some things really trigger your imagination, and we got a lot of that. So the noisemakers. How does a noisy woman like me vilify anyone for making noise? I'm certainly not doing that, but it's kind of weird sometimes. So those are my specific grievances today. Don't show up stinky if you can avoid it, and don't come near me on the treadmill if there's a flexible group over there. And then, of course, don't blow dry your crotch in the locker room. That's just freaking weird. That's just weird. Okay, moving on to your grievances. I'm going to start with the folks that I know very close. We're going to get starting with Chrissy Bergeron-Lyons, who's a great contributor to the Fitzness Show. Chrissy, always thank you for your great questions and comments. She said it bothers her when people sit on equipment while scrolling on their phones. Finish your set and move on. And yeah, I mean, some people just sit there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Not okay, especially if the fitness center is busy. Now, if you've got a 30-second rest period between sets and you look at your phone, answer a text, or you change music, fine. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're just going to plant yourself on a machine and do business, not cool. Not cool at all. And Elise Donna Bedian, she says, same thing. She commented on Chrissy's post and said, okay, so this used to bother me, but if people are resting for a minute or two between sets, then it's okay. She says, I do 3 to 4 sets of 10 on each exercise and need to rest for a couple minutes in between. Yeah, so know the difference. Also, be cognizant if there are similar machines available around you. So if you are on hamstring curl and there's 0 other hamstring curls in the gym and people are waiting for your hamstring curl, well, then no phone. You just move along, or you invite somebody, hey, would you like to work in? You know, really on those kind of machines, quite often it's just changing a pin. Sometimes it's a seat change and whatever. But yeah, hustle if it's the only one in the gym. But if the gym's empty and you're on the hamstring curls and there's 3 empty hamstring curls, fine. You could be a little more flexible about that. But I get that, Chrissy. And then she says, this is also Chrissy. While I'm on a rant, when folks don't re-rack their weights, just because someone can lift a 200-pound plate doesn't mean I can. Yeah, I've actually avoided equipment that just was too loaded with too many plates. I just didn't feel like dealing with it at the time. In fact, do you know my friend Billy Bob? She's 99. Is she 99 or? Yeah, she hasn't turned 100 yet, but she's a special part. She's an ambassador at my gym. And so they have a cardboard cutout of Billy Bob, life size, and she's holding in the image and in her cutout, she's holding a big plate and says, put your weights back so I don't have to, which is very cute because obviously nobody would want Billy Bob to have to re-rack their weights. But yeah, if you're going to bring plates out, put them back where you found them. Same thing for dumbbells. Simple courtesy. Come on, folks. All right, Sean Matlock, he says, when runners are playing music without earphones, no one wants to hear that. So I get it, Sean. However, sometimes I really like it. So when I am running a race, I try to be engaged in the race. I don't want to tune out by putting my headphones in and then I can't hear anything. I can't hear the people cheering. I can't hear the conversation of the athletes running with me. I like to be present. So I traditionally do not use earbuds unless it's really far and I just need help, right? But there's been a few guys who run with a boombox. And of course, they're always the guys with like a mustache and, they look like Freddie Mercury, all of them. They're all wearing flashy shorts and no shirt. They're just those guys, right? But those guys holding a boombox, I really like that. I like that very much. Sometimes I enjoy other people's music just because it distracts me from whatever's going on in my own crazy mind. But yeah, I could see how that could be annoying, especially at the gym, right? If you're at the gym and people are just all playing their own music, stop. We should not be doing that. I hear you, Sean Matlock. Okay, and Dana Sabatka, she agrees with Sean. She said, this is my grievance too. Hikers in nature with loud music playing. Nothing moves my pace faster than trying to get away from people like that on trails. Yeah, don't ruin nature. That's a pretty simple rule of thumb. Don't ruin nature. Sometimes people are out for some peace and quiet, and you should not interfere with that. That's what earbuds are for, right? Okay. Now, these are some of the comments I got on Reddit. Reddit is anonymous. People are commenting and their name shows up as like Soapbox535 or whatever. So I don't have names for these folks, but I thought they contributed well and we're going to hear their grievances. So, number 1, why do people stand directly in front of the dumbbell rack and just stare at themselves? We've been there. We know that person. I'm not trying to interrupt your reflection moment. I just need the 20s. Yeah, isn't that interesting? So, we got a lot of posers in my gym. And again, I'm all for it, honestly. I like it when people check themselves out. I like it when people are proud. I like it when they look at their bodies and think, hooray, I love this. Or maybe they're doing self-evaluation. In fact, I encourage that. I just had a podcast that says get naked. But yeah, you shouldn't be interfering with other people's access to fitness equipment while you are checking yourself out. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right, next up, there's a group in my gym that treats it like a social club. They sit on the machines, talk, scroll, laugh, and I'm just circling like a vulture waiting for my turn. Yeah, again, you just can't interfere, right? You just cannot freaking interfere. You can be social over by the couches or at the front door or in the hot tub or in the sauna. There's so many opportunities for you to catch up with your friends. Just don't dominate the machines. Hi. Okay. Runners who stop dead in the middle of a path to stretch. No shoulder check, no warning, just an abrupt halt. It's like a trust fall with strangers. Yeah, it's the rules of the road. We should be abiding by traffic rules. So if you are going to come to a stop, if we're driving, our cars have brake lights. We have a warning that the people in front of us are slowing down and they are going to completely stop. And so the same thing goes for running. If you are running in a pack or a group or a race, you should put your hand up. One hand up, that means, hey, I'm going to start slowing down. People will pay attention to you. And then the other smooth move is to step over to the right. You wouldn't on the highway just brake. You would move over to the side of the road, park there, And so the same thing goes for running. You put your hand up, that's a, hey, I'm slowing down. And then you step over to the side and nobody has to smash into you and eat your brains. Right? And the same thing goes if you're just going to go from running to walking. The pace you're at right now is the pace the people behind you expect. You must let them know that you are about to change your pace dramatically. Put that hands up. It's kind of a universal symbol of pay attention to me, and then they will adjust appropriately. But yeah, don't stop dead in the middle of the path to stretch, for crying out loud. Okay, but one time when I was training for Boston and I got heat exhaustion, I did lie down in the middle of a trail and I asked the alligators to eat me, which they did not. Thank goodness. In hindsight, I'm glad they did not. Although I wanted them to eat me at the moment, but the trail was not occupied, so I wasn't doing any harm to anybody at that time. Okie dokie. Next up, there's always someone who gives unsolicited advice. I didn't ask about my form, my shoes, my pace, or my life choices. I was just exercising. Yeah, you got to know. You got to know when. It tortures me. I tell you what, I walk around and sometimes I see people doing things that are so detrimental to their spinal column or their knees. And those are really hard for me to swallow because I care so much. I don't want someone to get hurt. But then also, I know I'm not a professional here at the gym. I am a fitness expert, but I try not to bring my business into theirs. Ideally, they would have their gym people, their employees uh, critiquing, encouraging, supporting our gym, our members on how to do things the right way. So on a rare occasion, I'll speak up. But yeah, it's actually really obnoxious when someone doesn't have my credentials, right? It's just a random guy telling you what you should do. That's a little cringy. Okay, next up. Groups that take up the entire sidewalk or trail and won't move. I say, on your left. And they hear, continue walking exactly as you are. Yeah, you got to be cognizant. You can't take up the whole path. If there's 6 of you, walk 2 by 2 by 2. You can go side by side, but you should not have groups of 3, 4, 5 across. That's for exercising on a trail, on a sidewalk, or at a race. You should not go too wide. And yeah, you could definitely interfere and be considerate at a finish line, for example. People want to be in their photos, right? If there's 8 of you and you've all got your hands up and you're crossing their finish line, maybe if that's what's important to you, make sure you are not interfering with somebody else's finish line moment. I see that happen a lot and it's kind of sad. Okie dokie. People who never wipe down equipment. You just laid in that puddle and walked away like it was nothing. Yeah, especially if you're a big sweaty person. Just bring a towel or the gym wipes. Most gyms now, I think, offer gym wipes is from the COVID stuff, right? They're, ooh, germs. I'm not bothered by germs. I don't want to sit in someone's completely wet, sloppy sweat. That's gross. But if you were a dry person and you were on a machine, you got off, I don't care if you wipe it. But yeah, if you're going to be dripping because you're working so hard, kudos. I'm clapping for you right now, but also just wipe it the freak down. So polite. Okay. Gym filming everywhere, tripods, angles, retakes. I didn't consent to being background content in your motivational reel. Yeah. On occasion, I'll shoot something at the gym and I make sure there's nobody in the background. That's a high priority for me. It's not polite and I don't want to be in the background. I assure you, as much as you see me on cameras, almost every time I'm on camera, it's deliberate. Even I went to see the Queen Latifah talk show in Los Angeles about 12 years ago. And I just wanted to be in the audience. I'm not even a huge Queen Latifah fan. In fact, I don't really care for her much. But I thought, oh, this would be a fun experience to go to the talk show. And I went with a girlfriend and we showed up kind of late. And I thought we would sit in the back and that would be great. And they came and got us, her staff, and they moved Susan and I to the very front of the audience. Oh, and I was not pleased. I just didn't want to be it. I don't want to be a background character in anything. In fact, I went to, what was it called? America's Got Talent. And that whole thing, I mean, I'm not calling the whole thing a farce, but there's a lot of, it's choreographed, right? It's a TV show. They're trying to make it great. So before any of the acts, well, first you see all the acts warm up. So it's not a surprise when they come out to do their real performance for the judges because the audience were trapped in that facility and we were watching them all rehearse for 2 hours, which sucked. Mind you, it sucked super bad. I do not recommend going to see America's Got Talent live. However, before they film, before the judges come out, they want to get B-roll, which is the laughing and the cheering and the gasping and stuff. So they will have the whole audience, everybody laugh right now. And they don't even say anything funny. All of a sudden there's 3,000 people, ha 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 ha, just laughing. And I so desperately did not want to be part of that when everybody was laughing, I would make a sad face or I would cover my face. I just didn't want I wanted to ruin the shot if they were focusing on my section, so they wouldn't choose us, which is maybe sad for the people surrounding me, but I really don't want to be in the background. That's what I'm telling you. Even with the big deal shows, if I'm not a hired person, hired to be on a stage doing the thing I do, I don't want to be in the background. And I would definitely also feel the same at the fitness center. If you're recording yourself, great. Just do it with nothing behind you or consenting adults. Okay, next grievance. Runners who sprint the first mile of a race and then weave all over the course when they inevitably slow down. Pick a pace or pick a lane. Yeah, you know what's interesting? I find real newbies sprint the first mile. I remember when I ran a whole bunch of Disney half marathons, and inevitably there would be some 16-year-old young man or 14, not a cross country athlete, just someone whose parents were like, hey, we're at Disney, go do the race. And they would sprint really hard. And I'm shuffling along at my medium pace, 10:30 per mile. And then eventually I'd pass them. And then he'd sprint ahead of me. And then I'd pass him. And so finally, you want to give those folks hints. Hey, maybe just run at a regular pace. You can't sprint this distance. So, pace yourself. And I've seen those folks kind of catch on. Look at everybody around you. Nobody is sprinting. But yeah, that's tougher on them than it is. So I don't mind people weaving. If they're weaving, they're going past me, and that's not going to be a problem. It's those who slam on the brakes in front of me that become an issue for both of us. Okay. Next up, people who loudly announce how hard their workout is. We get it. You're suffering quietly like the rest of us. Yeah, I don't know. Do people do that? I've not heard someone yell out, I am working so hard. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not paying attention, but I hear you. That could be annoying. That could be very annoying. Next up, fitness know-it-alls who haven't actually trained consistently, but have very strong opinions about everything. Yeah, I get you. I get you. Sometimes I get people that will try to explain fitness to me, and I find it fascinating. Fascinating. I really do. I find it fascinating. You can tell me about your experiences and so forth, but when you're explaining exercise to me, I know that you have got a very inflated ego. And yeah, maybe you don't know everything about everything. Maybe not everything, everybody needs to hear it. I can see how that would be annoying. I very much find it fascinating when people are know-it-alls about nutrition, for example, and they're wildly out of shape. And I think, really? Really? You're going to lecture me on nutrition? And it's not even me, just anyone. But, yeah, that is cringy behavior. It's nice to contribute, and I think everybody has a role to contribute, especially if you're exercising. Just, yeah, I tell my interns, when my interns are creating content for fitzness.com, I tell them, you cannot speak in first person on my website because you are not an expert. You can find sources and share evidence, knowledge that you have garnered from the CDC or some other expert resource. But if you are not an actual expert on the matter, don't claim to be. You're not giving first person advice. So I don't know. That's kind of a good rule of thumb, right? Okay, next up. Anyone who blocks the locker, bench, rack, or path while doing absolutely nothing. The lack of awareness is impressive. Yeah, there's just those folks. Sometimes I think people come to the gym to socialize, and I like that. I mean, socialize with gym people, or socializing with gym people, with healthy people, people who care about their health is great. My particular gym, again, I don't own it. I'm a member at Gainesville Health and Fitness, but not everybody, but lots of people go there. And I love seeing friends. I work alone. When I'm not with you out at a race somewhere or doing a keynote, I'm alone. So when I get to the gym and I see Nick Ferrara, hey, Nick, I know he listens sometimes, or Judgy Wudgy Susan, I see a lot of different friends, and it's nice to catch up, but I keep it reasonable. I can stay out of people's way, and I certainly don't allow it to interfere with my workouts. Actually, That's one of the things that's a big grievance of mine are the interrupters. It's okay to chit chat at the gym, but not at the expense of the pace where I'm going. So I, thankfully, because I'm so cocky and bold, I will tell people, come with me. And I'll sit down or I'll stand up and do bicep curls while talking to them. But I will not pause if I'm on the go or in the middle of something. I can talk to a friend, but I'm not allowing them to interrupt my workout. So know that's your responsibility. If you go to the fitness center and there's someone always trying to chat you up, they can do it as long as you keep moving. That's their prerogative. If they're entertaining you in any regard and you want to keep it moving, fine, but don't let them cause you to stop because you're there with a purpose. And I believe almost all of us are. So yeah, do not allow that to happen. Okay. And then Dana Sabatka, again, she posted that leaving her yoga class last week, she saw a house that had a Festivus pole in their yard and a sign with markers so everybody could write down their grievances. So she actually took a picture and posted it in the Hottie Body Fitzness Challenge group page. If you're not a part of that on Facebook, you should be. It's thousands of the nicest humans on earth, so supportive, all with a similar goal to live better, live longer, exercise more, eat more intentionally, and support each other. And so you should be a part of that. But Dana, that was a great catch. And if I saw that sign on the road, I certainly would get out and pick up the marker and write down my grievances. It's, yeah, so fun. So this was it. This was the show dedicated to complaints. You're not going to get that a lot with the Fitzness show, but today, to celebrate Festivus, grievances all day. If I missed your favorite grievance, well, go ahead and send it my way. I don't mind sharing that at a future episode. I could say so-and-so thinks this, and that would be pretty cool. I know we all kind of identify with almost all of these grievances, and I tell you what, if I ask cyclists or dancers or gymnasts or whatever, or football players, they'd pile on with their sport too. I'm sure every fitness activity has some sort of common thread of annoying behavior that everyone can identify with. I stuck with fitness and running because I know the most of you participate in both. But yeah, I love you guys. I hope that never becomes a grievance. If Fitz tells me she loves me too much, stop it, Fitz Koehler, because I won't. Too bad. Okay. The communication tip of the show. Make friends at the gym. I want you to be friendly with gym people. Walk in with a smile, say hello to everybody, and you'd be surprised. The gym should feel like home. You are surrounded by like-minded people, and maybe a great place to meet a buddy, a new job opportunity, a love interest, whatever, or just make some friends in your community for people who like to exercise. Maybe eventually you'll exercise with people you meet. And it's funny, at the yoga class I was in today, there were so many familiar faces, people that I don't know their names, and I don't know if they know my name, but we smile, we like each other. There's this lady with a broken hand. Her cast is structured in a weird way, and it's red. It looks like a boxing glove. So in my mind, she's the boxing glove lady. God help me when her cast comes off. I'm hoping I can recognize her because she's very distinct with this cast on. But anyways, I like her. Hopefully I will get to know her. Maybe I'll ask her name next time. Okay. And then song of the show, Love Me Not by Raven Lene. It's great. And what do I want you to do? I want you to do some good stretching to that. It's upbeat, but also mellow. And I want you to listen to it and I want you to stretch. That's it, folks. Festivus. What a wonderful celebration of misery and frustration. And I think Mr. Costanza would be very proud of us. Thank you to everyone who's contributed. I love you so much. Get to work. Bye, team. Mwah.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for a loved one battling cancer? The Cancer Comeback Series by Fitz Koehler offers hope, inspiration, and practical guidance. With Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, My Noisy Cancer Comeback, and The Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal. These books are a lifeline for all patients and survivors. Right now, you can order autographed copies at a special discount. Show your support and help a loved one go from sick to strong. Visit fitzness.com today. That's FITZNESS.com. Fitzness.com.